Did you had any idea that regard is considerably more than simply a convention? It is the foundation of every human communication. But what if I told you that the way you understand respect might be completely wrong? In this exploration, we'll uncover one of the biggest misconceptions about human relationships and reveal how a lack of respect can not only destroy your relationships, but also compromise your mental health and well-being. So stay with us for a groundbreaking revelation that could transform the way you interact with the world around you. Learn how to protect your dignity and improve your interpersonal connections once and for all. And don't forget, we want to hear from you. Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Let's begin. Steady absence of regard. Regard is more than kindness. It is the focal point of support in all solid and useful human collaborations. At the point when we experience a repetitive absence of regard, set apart by ways of behaving that diminish or totally disregard a singular's pride, this cautioning sign can't be overlooked. Such ways of behaving can appear in different ways, from consistent breaks in a discussion to disastrous analysis or purposeful lack of concern to another person's feelings. Every one of these demonstrations subverts the trust and security fundamental for any sound relationship. The steadiness of this absence of regard is an obvious sign that the relationship might be compromised to where an individual's emotional wellness is in danger. In such conditions, separating oneself isn't a deserting yet a proportion of self-security. It is a fundamental stage to save mental harmony and individual uprightness, forestalling the disintegration of confidence and the development of hatred. Choosing to reduce most, if not all, connection with a harmful dynamic is a demonstration of boldness and confidence. Considering these collaborations permits us to evaluate our own qualities and reaffirm our obligation to individual nobility. Laying out and keeping up with clear limits is vital for any enduring and aware relationship. These limits safeguard against profound mileage, as well as advance a climate where common regard can thrive. By confronting and recognizing the continuous absence of regard, we offer ourselves the opportunity for reestablishment and self-improvement. We figure out how to esteem much more the individuals who treat us with the regard we merit, and learn not to endure not exactly this. This is a chance to consider the job that regard plays in our lives, and how its non-attendance can be harming both to the individual and to the more extensive social texture. Perceiving these signs and acting in like manner is fundamental for creating better and additional satisfying connections. Negative effects on mental health. Connections that reliably create sensations of nervousness, trouble, or stress are exceptionally hindering not exclusively to the tranquility we as a whole take a stab at, yet additionally to our capacity to work soundly and idealistically in day-to-day existence. A pathetic way of thinking helps us to look for mental serenity as a fundamental state for the act of righteousness and great living. In any case, being associated with connections that persistently upset this profound equilibrium straightforwardly challenges that objective. When exposed to conditions that sincerely undermine us, we might encounter a decrease in our psychological wellness, which shows through close-to-home distress, as well as actual issues like absence of energy, sleep deprivation, or stomach-related issues. These symptoms are clear signs that something in the dynamics of our relationships is not contributing to our well-being and must be carefully evaluated. And becoming aware of the negative impacts of these relationships is the first step towards initiating change. Protecting our mental health often involves making difficult decisions, such as limiting or ending contact with people who continue to cause emotional pain. This is an essential act of self-care and an affirmation of our right to a healthy environment conducive to personal development. By distancing ourselves from negative influences and restructuring our relationships, we are not only safeguarding our mental health, but also reinforcing our ability to live more fully and virtuously. This process may involve seeking support from friends, family, or mental health professionals who can provide the guidance and support necessary to regain emotional stability and strengthen our commitment to a virtuous life. By cultivating and maintaining relationships that support and elevate us, we reaffirm our commitment to tranquility and virtue, essential pillars for an authentically good life. Misaligned values. The similarity of values between people is a key component for the improvement of veritable and significant connections. at the point when we habitually end up in conflict with the moral standards and individual qualities we value. Moral predicaments emerge that can cause serious struggles under the surface. These conflicts are not only contrasts of assessment, they contact the embodiment of what our identity is and what we accept to be simply and right. Continually confronting values that go against our own can dissolve our inward harmony and undermine our credibility. Residing in a condition of consistent moral misalignment is like attempting to explore without a compass in a new area where each choice appears to scrutinize our respectability and most profound feelings. This misalignment can lead to a gradual erosion of self-confidence and self-esteem, as trying to accommodate or accept contrary values may lead us to question our own identity and principles. This in turn can manifest as stress, anxiety, and a feeling of disconnection from oneself and others. Therefore, it is crucial to recognize and deal with these value discrepancies proactively, establishing clear boundaries around what is acceptable in our relationships can help preserve our sense of identity and integrity. In some cases, this may mean reducing or ending interactions with those whose values are deeply in conflict with our own. Making these difficult choices is essential to maintaining our authenticity and to cultivating an environment where we can live in harmony with our own values and beliefs. By making such decisions, we not only protect our mental health, but also reinforce our commitment to an authentic life true to our principles. These actions not only free us from internal conflicts, but also pave the way for deeper and more meaningful relationships based on genuine alignment of values. Of constant drain. A solid relationship ought to act as a safe house of common help and rejuvenation, not as a wellspring of constant consumption, at the point when connections with an individual deliberately leave us depleted. This is a disturbing sign that the relationship might be removing us from our substance and upsetting the improvement of our maximum capacity. This depletion can appear in different ways, like a sensation of close-to-home weakness after gatherings, a decline in energy for exercises that recently given pleasure, or even a tenacious sensation of distress or stress. These signs demonstrate that the relationship is consuming more energy than it offers, adversely influencing our psychological and actual well-being. Besides, a bond that reliably depletes our energies can hinder our way to accomplishing individual and expert achievements. Instead of propelling us forward, these relationships pull us back, preventing our progress toward personal fulfillment and the authentic expression of our capabilities. Recognizing when we are in a cycle of constant draining is crucial. Upon identifying this dynamic, we should consider re-evaluating and possibly restructuring or ending these interactions. Establishing healthy boundaries is essential to protect our well-being and ensure that our relationships are sources of enrichment and mutual growth. Making choices that prioritize our well-being is not just an act of self-care, it is a necessary step to ensure that we are surrounded by people who positively contribute to our lives, allowing us to flourish and aspire to be our best selves. By freeing ourselves from draining relationships, we open space for new connections that truly value and energize our spirit. Manipulation or control, whether profound or conduct, addresses a serious infringement of emotionless standards of realness and trustworthiness, fundamental qualities for building certifiable and conscious connections. This sort of conduct includes the utilization of clever strategies to impact or control others, frequently veiling genuine aims, and at our control to delude the individuals who. Connections that contain components of control twist the view of the elaborate people, truly undermining their capacity to pursue free and informed decisions. At the point when we are affected by control, our judgment becomes obfuscated, keeping us from assessing circumstances and pursuing choices with clearness and soundness. This can lead to a state of confusion and indecision, where we constantly feel unsure about our own perceptions and decisions. More than that, manipulation attacks individual dignity and integrity as it exploits emotional vulnerabilities with the goal of gaining personal advantages. Such behavior not only erodes mutual trust and respect, but also causes a lasting impact on the self-esteem and emotional well-being of the manipulated person. Therefore, it is vital to recognize and confront situations of manipulation in our relationships. Identifying these behaviors allows us to take measures to protect our autonomy and integrity. This may involve establishing firm boundaries, or in some cases, completely disengaging from the manipulative relationship. By rejecting and removing the influence of manipulation from our lives, we reaffirm our commitment to values of honesty and authenticity. This is a fundamental step in preserving our ability to make clear judgments and to maintain dignity and respect for ourselves and others, thereby contributing to healthier and truly respectful relationships. The lack of trust. And trust is a fundamental support point in any sort of relationship, whether individual, expert, or social. A diligent absence of trust can seriously undermine the groundworks of our most huge connections. At the point when trust is subverted or missing, we wind up never-endingly wary, unfit to unwind and share our actual considerations and sentiments. In this consistent condition of caution, not just forestalls the improvement of a profound and significant bond, yet additionally establishes a climate of vulnerability and strain. Without trust, every word or action from the other can be interpreted with suspicion, and every minor misunderstanding has the potential to escalate into a significant conflict. This atmosphere of mutual distrust can lead to a vicious cycle of fear and insecurity where neither party feels secure or valued. Moreover, a lack of trust compromises our ability to open up completely, restricting our ability to be vulnerable and authentic with others. And vulnerability is crucial for building deep and genuine relationships, as it allows people to share their hopes, fears, and dreams. Without it, relationships tend to remain superficial and functionally limited. Recognizing and addressing the lack of trust is therefore essential to restoring the integrity of our interactions. This may involve open and honest dialogue about the insecurities and doubts that each party may be feeling. Establishing and respecting clear commitments can help to rebuild lost trust. In some cases, it may be necessary to seek the help of a mediator or therapist to facilitate this process. Facing these challenges is a crucial step in reestablishing an environment where all involved can feel safe, valued, and understood. By investing in rebuilding trust, we are not only healing damaged relationships, but also strengthening our own ability to interact openly and meaningfully with the world around us. Abuse of any kind, misuse, no matter what its structure, whether physical, close to home, verbal, or mental address, is a serious offense contrary to indifferent rules that esteem pride and shared regard among people. This sort of oppressive conduct not just purposes prompt and significant harm to the person in question, yet additionally taints the ethical texture of human relations, attacking the substance of being conscious and prudent. Cutting off oppressive friendships isn't simply a demonstration of taking care of oneself, however, a basic need to save one's own tranquility and trustworthiness. Remaining in an abusive dynamic is incompatible with the pursuit of a virtuous and balanced life as advocated by the Stoics, who see tranquility of mind and harmony of spirit as goals to be pursued. The decision to distance oneself from an abusive relationship is therefore a fundamental step, not only in protecting against further harm, but in reaffirming one's own value and respect for oneself. This process can be challenging, given the possible social isolation that abuse can cause or the emotional dependency it can create. However, it is essential to seek support from friends, family, or specialized professionals to navigate this difficult period. By choosing to end such relationships, we are opting for a path towards recovery and reaffirmation of our dignity. It is an opportunity to rebuild life on foundations of self-respect and mutual respect, redefining what we expect from ourselves and others in terms of treatment and interaction. Taking this active stance in eliminating abuse from our lives demonstrates a commitment to higher ethical values and the ceaseless pursuit of a state of well-being and respect that everyone deserves. The absence of growth or mutual support or connections that don't encourage self-awareness or common help can establish a stale climate that fundamentally restricts our singular turn of events and our capacity to contribute decidedly to other people. This absence of progress and backing decreases our own development as well as keep us from arriving at our maximum capacity. In a solid relationship, development and backing are viewed as fundamental parts contributing both to individual enhancement and to reinforcing the common security. Without these components, Connections can become uneven or just useful, where associations are diminished as satisfying commitments, or keeping up with appearances as opposed to advancing genuine association and common enhancement. Regularly evaluating the dynamics of our relationships is crucial to ensuring that we are in an environment that not only respects and values our contributions, but also encourages and celebrates our growth and well-being. This evaluation may reveal the need to discuss shared expectations and goals, adjusting the course of interactions so that both parties can benefit and evolve. In cases where mutual support and continuous growth are consistently absent, it may be necessary to reconsider the long-term viability of these relationships. But this does not necessarily mean an abrupt breakup, but may involve redirecting or redefining how interactions occur, ensuring that both partners can thrive and develop. Taking steps to revitalize or readjust these relationships can open new possibilities for personal and collective growth, transforming stagnant interactions into sources of inspiration and progress. This, in turn, strengthens our ability to live more fully and contribute positively to the lives of others, aligning our relationships with our deepest values and aspirations. Persistent selfish behavior in sound connections. A harmony among giving and getting is fundamental, mirroring a guarantee to correspondence and common regard. At the point when one party reliably shows childish way of behaving, continuously focusing on their own requirements over those of the other, this addresses an unmistakable infringement of these center standards. But aloofness, which values control and reasonableness in activities, is gone against in these circumstances, as the way of thinking advocates for the significance of equity and profound equilibrium in all connections. The determination of such self-centeredness can progressively disintegrate the underpinning of any relationship, making it uneven and imbalanced. This not just subverts the common help structure important for a sound relationship, yet in addition adversely influences the two players' capacity to keep up with peacefulness and practice excellence. At the point when an individual reliably feels disregarded or underestimated, this can prompt sensations of hatred and dissatisfaction, which, if unsettled, can additionally break down the connection between individuals. Recognizing the presence of selfish behaviors and addressing them is crucial for the sustainability of any relationship. This may involve an open conversation about each person's expectations and needs, seeking to re-establish a balance where both partners feel valued and respected. In some cases, it may be necessary to set clear boundaries or reconsider the relationship's dynamics to ensure that mutual respect and reciprocity are restored. Addressing these challenges not only protects the individual integrity of each person, but also strengthens the relationship as a whole, allowing it to evolve in a more balanced and harmonious way. By promoting an environment where altruism and mutual consideration prevail, we reaffirm our commitment to the Stoic values of justice and virtue, essential for personal and collective development. Constructive communication. Correspondence goes about as the groundwork of every significant relationship, and the manner in which we cooperate with one another significantly affects our association and common comprehension. At the point when the example of correspondence turns out to be prevalently basic, pessimistic, or damaging, the consequences for close-to-home dependability and peacefulness can be extreme. The Stoics, who esteemed concordance and equilibrium in human collaborations, think of it as fundamental that correspondences be elevating and productive, holding back nothing and prosperity of all included. A correspondence design that reliably influences us adversely is an obvious indicator that changes are fundamental. This kind of connection dissolves common trust and regard as well as lead to profound exhaustion, dissatisfaction, and separating between parties. In environments where words are used to diminish rather than build, the true essence of communication, which is to connect and enrich people's lives, is lost. To restore positivity in communication within any relationship, it is crucial to identify destructive patterns and address them directly. This may involve establishing clear interaction norms that reject negativity and encourage open and respectful dialogue. In some cases, the assistance of a mediator or counselor may be beneficial to reorient communication toward a healthier and more productive path. Promoting constructive communication is an investment in the emotional well-being of all involved and the quality of the relationship itself. By doing so, we not only follow Stoic principles of uplifting interactions, but also create an environment where everyone can feel heard, respected, and valued. Changing destructive communication patterns to constructive ones is crucial for maintaining lasting and meaningful relationships, ensuring they are sources of mutual support and growth. Disregard for personal needs. In any relationship, regard and thought for every individual's very own requirements and limits are fundamental for keeping up with solid and adjusted collaborations. Continuous dismissal for these necessities mirrors a serious absence of regard, which can seriously think twice about poise and inward tranquility of those included. In emotionlessness, the correspondence of regard is seen as an issue of civility as well as an essential part for the act of uprightness and close-to-home prosperity. At the point when a relationship reliably disregards or limits your necessities and limits, it might demonstrate that the relationship is in conflict with your moral and individual standards. This steady refutation can prompt sensations of imperceptibility and inconsequentiality, which is destructive not exclusively to confidence, yet additionally to the capacity to keep a daily existence as per your own qualities. Besides, this absence of thought can block your way to development and self-awareness. Restricting your chances to live really and completely. It is crucial to recognize and address this dynamic within relationships to ensure that your relational environment is aligned with the values of mutual respect and consideration so highly valued in Stoicism. To remedy this situation, it is important to clearly communicate your needs and expectations within the relationship. Establishing and maintaining firm boundaries may be necessary to protect your dignity and promote an environment of mutual respect. In some cases, it may be necessary to reassess and possibly adjust or end relationships that continue to disregard your essential needs. By taking steps to ensure that your needs are respected, you not only strengthen your own position within your relationships, but also promote an environment where honesty and respect can flourish, contributing to healthier and more satisfying relationships. Absence of mutual accountability. Common responsibility is fundamental in any solid relationship, as it permits the two players to share similarly in the obligation regarding activities and the general elements of the relationship. An absence of responsibility, particularly when one of the involved reliably tries not to take their portion of issues or clashes, can establish a climate of lopsidedness and seen bad form. This conduct not just goes against unemotional standards of genuineness and equity, however, can likewise genuinely hurt the trust and close-to-home soundness that support the relationship. At the point when one accomplice ceases from assuming liability, it frequently puts the other in a position where they should make up for this need, making an unbalanced weight. This imbalance can lead to feelings of resentment and frustration, and if not resolved, it can gradually erode the trust and mutual respect that are fundamental to sustaining any relationship. To address these challenges, it is crucial that both partners commit to honest self-assessment and open communication about their actions and the consequences thereof. This involves recognizing when failures occur, apologizing sincerely, and making genuine efforts to correct problematic behaviors and prevent their repetition. Promoting mutual accountability within a relationship not only aligns with Stoic teachings, but also strengthens the relationship structure, creating an environment where justice and trust can thrive. By cultivating this dynamic, relationships become more balanced and fair, providing all involved a solid foundation for ongoing personal growth and development. Now that you understand the critical importance of respect in relationships and how its absence can deeply affect not only the health of the relationships but also your personal well-being, we invite you to reflect on how you can apply these insights in your daily life. Change begins with awareness and solidifies with action. Be sure to share your ideas and stories in the comments below. Your contribution is crucial to enriching our discussion. If this video was helpful to you, consider subscribing to the channel and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Together we can build healthier and more respectful relationships. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.